Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a Big Nut here. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the Wednesday, I want to say Armor Evolution piece that Bungie posted, and also the TWAB, and we're going to get into this first picture here. So in this first picture that we have in front of us, we have our new loadout screens of when we want to do a loadout. As you can see in the picture, we can also see our weapons, which is really cool. We can also do slots and share our loadouts, which is going to be huge. So it's basically like an in-game dim and will keep us inside of that screen. So when it's inside of that screen, it will really keep us engaged in the game and not have to open up another screen like your phone or another monitor for dim, which will be awesome. And we also have some differences with the armors. From now on, and starting in Lightfall, there will be no armor energies. So there won't be like Arc, Solar, Void, or Stasis, which is going to be a big change. So we don't have to do different types of mods. Speaking of Elemental Wells, so with Elemental Wells, they're actually going to be changing a little bit. There's no longer going to be the little Elemental Wells that are on the ground that we have now. How it's going to work is Ionic Traces. Those are going to turn into our Arc Wells basically. We have Fire Sprites for Solar, Void Breaches for Void, Stasis Shards they're gonna be the normal Stasis Shards that we already have, and Strand is gonna have their own object, and we'll get more details on that probably in the VDoc, whichever gets posted. Hopefully it comes out soon because I haven't seen nothing about it, and they did one for Witch Queen, and I hope they do one for this one. They've done one for like everyone, but that's how those are gonna change, and hopefully we still have the tracking like the one mod where you can have them track to you, which will be nice. But yeah, it's gonna be a big difference for a lot of stuff, and they're also gonna decay too when you get some type of elemental well mods, which is gonna be a little different. In this next picture coming up, we have new ways to stun champions. We can also use our weapons as we can now in this season, and we're also going to be getting some more intrinsic mods on some more weapons, which will be cool. But for barrier champions, you can actually use Solar, Void, and Strand. For Overload, you can use Arc, Stasis, and Void, and for Unstoppable, you can use Arc, Solar, and Stasis. So how to trigger these is basically for barrier, volatile rounds, stun them. Also, when a Guardian is Radiant, that can also work on it. And then we'll have a different thing for Strand. For Overload, Arc is by jolting them, and Void is going to be the same way as stunning for Volatile. And then we have Unstoppable, which is Arc, which is going to be our jolted, Solar, which is going to be our Radiant, and Strand, which we do not know about yet, but we'll get some information in the further TWABs or even probably in Lightfall. We don't know yet. But that is really going to open up the game to do more GMs on your own. And I think it's actually going to be really nice for some raids, master raids, when you don't have that weapon on, but you have that subclass. You don't have to actually use a certain weapon, which is going to be really nice, I think, in my opinion. In this next picture, right here, save the date. Make sure you get that date saved. Make sure if you could take off work, try and get that vacation day, get it off. It's going to be in March, on March 10th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or for me, I'm in Eastern Time, so that is going to be 12 o'clock. So that's going to be huge. I will be streaming all day. You can catch me on on Twitch at a bignut_. I'll be streaming. Hopefully we can do the day one. I got 2 day ones under my belt. I want to do another one. That'll be awesome, but I'm ready for that raid. Hopefully maybe Nezarec will be in it. That'll be awesome. But with the other photo that we got coming up here is going to be a really big topic, in my opinion, is airborne effectiveness. I feel that this is actually going to change Crucible in a big way, because right now in Crucible it is a lot of pulse rifles, because they are just so strong. And they actually did touch on this in the TWAB, how they are reducing the range fall off on pulses, which is actually going to be a big change in Crucible. And we'll see where the sandbox takes us in Lightfall, because about every season, every massive DLC drop, it does change drastically. So it's going to be really different. But they're basically, for airborne effectiveness, it's going to be able to, you're going to be able to use your primers again. They're going to make it so I know when, like, for instance, you were walking down a staircase and that little split second you were off the ground, your airborne effectiveness was terrible. But now they're going to make it back to how it was. It's basically going to have 0 airborne effectiveness for primaries. It's going to be different it's going to be how it is right now for secondaries. So your shotguns, your snipers is going to be how it is right now. But for hand cannon play, this is going to be huge because say you're jumping backwards from a shotgun shot or a fusion, you're actually going to be able to counteract that without building so hardly into airborne effectiveness. So hand cannons, I think, are going to come back up because they're really hard to use right now against pulses. So hopefully they come back up because I love using hand cannons. A really, really good nerf that I was so happy that was coming is Sight and Ramparts. Those are actually going to be getting nerfed a little bit. It's going to make it so instead of doing a little bit of the cooldown, it's going to do 70% of that cooldown time. So it's going to be a little harder to proc this Titans. So you're going to really have to build into, I believe it is recovery for Titans. That is how you get your that ability back faster. So hopefully we don't see as many as we see in Crucible right now, because I know when Trials Capture the Flag is a thing, it's a full team of Void Titans and just using Sight and Ramparts, and it's kind of crazy. For some cooldowns, we have a little bit changes with the class abilities, which I think is a good step in taking a lot of the play that happens in Crucible right now away from abilities. So we have the Towering Barricade, which is going to go from 40 to 48 seconds. We have the Rally Barricade from 32 to 38. The Thruster mechanic for the Titan is going to go from 30 to 36. Marksman's Dodge is going to go from 29 to 34, and Gambler's Dodge is going to go from 38 to 46. So these are at the max cooldowns of the 10 mobility for these. For instance, for Hunter, I'm saying for the 10 mobility or 100 mobility, I just say 10 because it's easier because you have the 10 blocks of it. That's going to change. So that's going to be a big difference in Crucible. And actually, it'll be some good usage because you're not going to have a lot of Hunters moving around different ways. A really big thing that I want to end off on here is blues. So once you hit that soft cap, blues are no longer going to drop. Now, a lot of you might be worried about how blues you will get. A lot of people are getting materials from blues, but actually it's going to be a little different. So at the end of an activity that you were supposed to get a blue at, or you would have gotten a blue, you'll just get some glimmer. So that glimmer that you would have gotten from that blue, you will still get. And for the Gunsmith, it is going to do a 25% increase when you dismantle legendaries. So you're basically making up for that blue that you'd be losing. But hey, this is Big Knight here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video, which I will be posting very soon. Have a good one.